Good morning everyone. The aim of this video is to give you a very brief overview of AQA English Language Paper 1 Question 2. So Paper 2 is a 1 hour and 45 minute exam paper. It's out of 80 marks and you are given 2 non-fiction sources to read. Now these will be linked, so they're going to be about a similar topic, but they will be from different time periods. There are 5 questions to complete, and the best order to complete this paper in is this order. Question 5 first, then question 3, 1, 4, and finally 2. The reason for this is that you get the big mark question out of the way first. Question 3 and question 1 are next because they're both only about one source. Then for question 4 and 2, you need to read and compare 2 sources, so we'll leave those questions until last. A question 2 looks something like this. It asks you to look at both sources. Now they might give you specific line numbers, but the majority of the time they ask you to look at the entire text. The question here asks you to look at both sources and provide a summary of the differences between the details of the Emmett Till case. So a question 2 asks you to provide a summary of the similarities or differences when looking at an element of 2 texts. So the exam question could ask you to look at the similarities or the differences. It will always be either or. It's worth 8 marks, which is 10% of the whole exam paper. I'd recommend that for this you spend 3 minutes preparing and planning the answer, and then 8 minutes writing the response. And you should be aiming to write 2 paragraphs in that time. Now the whole point of this question is to see if you can think about both texts at the same time. Can you cut out all the information that's irrelevant to the question and synthesize the details that you need to create a short and succinct summary, even when that means using inference skills too? So, in order to get the marks, you need to state the similarities or differences between the 2 texts, dependent on what the question asks you. You need to use a range of quotations from both texts. Keyword there is both. To get above half marks, you have to discuss both texts. And then you need to show off your inference skills and explore the quotations from both texts. So just explaining how the quotation you've picked is relevant and how it is similar or different from the other source. So this is how I'd recommend structuring your answer. Use P, connective P. P stands for point, evidence, and explore. And what this means is that you focus your response on one particular similarity or difference that you found when planning your answer. We'll start off by writing about source A. For evidence, state the quotation. Direct the examiner to the evidence. Bonus points if you can embed that quotation into your sentence. And next, explore the quotation. Why have you picked out this specific quotation and how does it link to the question? Next, a simple connective. Words and phrases such as however or on the other hand if you're discussing differences. And words like similarly or likewise work fine if you're discussing similarities. Now this is just showing that you are definitely comparing and not just writing 2 separate analyses. And then you complete a P about source B. Explain how this is similar or different to the quotation of source A. What have you found? What can you infer? So P, connect, P. That makes up 1 paragraph. Now you want to be aiming for 2 of these in the time that you have. So don't overcomplicate your answer. There are no marks available for things such as identifying the names of techniques, so don't waste time on things like that. Now these are some pretty generic sentence starters that you could use to get you going, but obviously you can always add more detail. And that's about it for question 2, and that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and happy revising.